Hey there, good listener. Steve here with a quick note. Today's interview and show were recorded before the untimely passing of actress Tanya Roberts. Our thoughts are with her family, friends, and fans. This episode of World Gone Good is in her honor and memory.
Hi, this is Mike Pingle, and you're entering a world gone good.
Well, hello and welcome. My name is Steve, and I am so happy you're joining me today to share some good. World Gone Good keeps growing more and more worldly thanks to listeners just like you. So thank you for listening, sharing, subscribing, rating, reviewing, and or any or all of the previous ings I just rattled off. We appreciate you. So you probably know this already about me. I am a child of the 70s. Literally, I was born on January 24th, 1970. As such, television played a huge part in my young life. Shows and characters like Steve Austin and Jamie Summers and Diana Prince shaped my growing psyche. And then there was a series about, and I'm quoting here, so don't call me sexist, I'm just quoting, 3 little girls who went to the police academy. For 110 episodes, millions of viewers tuned in to grab their share of adventure, intrigue, and amazing hair. And one of those millions of viewers is here with me today. Mike Pingle is an author, collector, fan, and so much more. He is literally the go-to expert on everything and anything that was and is Charlie's Angels. So, Mr. Pingle.
Yes. Am I under oath for this?
No,
Oh, thank God.
If you lie, make it a good one, as we've learned in the world today. Okay, so.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. So, do you? Here's an overall general question.
Yes.
Do you consider yourself
Crazy person?
Well, yes, any one of these things and combined. Do you consider yourself a fan, a collector, a connoisseur, an expert, an author? You have so many titles. What do you see yourself as?
The luckiest man in the world. No, all of those, all of above. It is interesting when people ask me what I do, and I really don't have an answer because I do almost everything. But I always say, for money, it's usually PR or production, and for fun is writing books, and for a lifetime passion is Charlie's Angels.
So let's go way back, my friend. We're probably of the same ilk, probably around the same age, I would think. Charlie's Angels, 1970s. Do you remember the first time you saw it? And do you remember what it felt like?
Well, it would have been in 1977. I was living in Fort Ord, California. My father was in the Army, and we couldn't watch Charlie's Angels here at that time. Was airing at 10 p.m. every night on Wednesday nights. Sorry, and I was too young. I was a young tot. Of 7 and 8 years old, and so I couldn't stay out that late. But when Cheryl Ladd arrived, who, by the way, is my favorite angel, they moved the show to 9 o'clock. So we could watch, my sister and I could watch half an hour of the show at 9 to 9:30. So we never actually found out what happened in any episode, but we got to watch the first part of it. Later on, we got to watch the rest of it. And honestly, the first episode would have been Angels in Paradise, which was the kickoff of Chris Monroe, Cheryl Ladd's character. So I would have remembered that one, but that would have been, the first half an hour of that was really good. It was great intrigue.
We had a very similar upbringing because my mother did the same thing to us. I had to be in bed at 9:30, so I had the exact same situation as you. Now, let me ask you this.
Can I say, when we had a babysitter, we watched more because we would sneak out, hide behind the sofa and watch the rest of the show and then go to bed.
Oh my God, I've told this story before, but my brother and I, we had to go to synagogue to temple on Friday nights, and we'd race home because Donnie and Marie were on, and we were forbidden from watching TV after synagogue, so my brother would turn the TV on and then turn it really, really low, and we'd press our faces up to the so we could hear them, right? And then my mother would yell, "Where are you?" And my brother would he'd always turn the TV off too fast, and remember how the TV just wouldn't used to go
Yeah.
off? It would like stay on
Hmm.
and then slowly go off. And we'd be like, come on, go off. Because it had the tubes in it.
Yes.
But very panic inducing. So what was the connection? What was it to you and has been for you?
Well, at that point, I didn't know I was a little gay boy. So I think a lot of it was the the beauty of the angels, the what they were wearing, who they were, strong women. Other than that, it was the high adventure, and of course, their characters, because they always, they went undercover and they became other people, and I at a young age wanted to be an actor, and I always wanted to play somebody else. So those were many of the reasons why. Of course, everybody wanted to be an angel.
Three, two, one. Get some action with the most beautiful private eyes in the world. The girls who do it for Charlie.
Work, work, work.
Another case, Charlie? I can hardly wait.
A beautiful solution to any crime. Charlie's Angels.
And did you start collecting angel memorabilia then, or was it a later thing?
Well, I didn't know what collecting was at the time, but yes, I did purchase a lot of stuff as a kid. I remember going to my grandparents' house, and we would go down to the Five and Dime or the Woolworths, and we could pick out one thing, and I always would pick out a Charlie's Angels puzzle, which we would all take back to their house, and we would put it together. And that's a great memory of a collection. But I still have those boxes still. But later on, as I grew up, even as a teenager, saving like, uh, Tiger Beats and Dynamite magazines and the posters. I had like every single poster out. I remember another story when we were going through, my father was in the army and we were going to Germany for 3.5 years. We stayed there. And as we're going through the airport, one of the shops had season 4 with Shelley Hack poster on the wall. And I was like, I want that. Like, we have to get to the plane. The plane was like leaving like in 20 minutes. And we had to, so I couldn't get it. So in my room, in my teenage room, I wrote pieces of paper, said, this is where season 5 poster is going to be. And I would just have an empty wall with that little piece of paper. And I didn't get it until like 20 years later, but it's okay. I have it now. Don't worry.
Now you kept collecting
Yeah.
and kept collecting to a point of which
My mom wants
it's
me
pretty
to throw it away. Yes.
well, yeah, but it's pretty impressive the amount you have. And can you talk to us about a little bit of some of the stuff you have?
I have almost everything, but there's a few things I'm still looking for. And I'll let the listeners know. So if they have them in their closet, way back in the closet, they want to pack it up and send it to me, that would be great. Quite a heavenly thank you. No, but my collection has thousands and thousands of items, including photos and record albums and puzzles and dress up sets and makeup sets and vans and cars. And what else do we have? One of my favorite things is the rainy day set, which has a Charlie's Angels umbrella and a Charlie's Angels, like a purse, which is like waterproof, probably not really waterproof. And so that, and there's a dress up kit that has like high heels and a purse and all these fun things, niche things that they made. It's interesting because Aaron Spelling and Leonard Goldberg made such a huge amount of toys on a show that's mainly, focused for adults. I mean, Charlie's Angels was not really a child-driven show, with Jiggle TV and running around and catching bad guys. But they made all these toys. It was like the Star Wars of the 70s for TV, and all these kids were running around with, you know, Charlie's Angels puzzles and games and Target sets, and you know, we all wanted to be angels.
Have you seen the Charlie's Angels Dolls and Adventure? Charlie's Angels, beautiful dolls, oh how beautiful. Sabrina, Jill, and Kelly. They're Charlie's Angels, and they've got clothes that let you imagine them in daring adventures by day, and then turn them into glamorous outfits at night. Charlie's
Angels, I have an assignment for you.
Charlie's Angels Dolls and Adventure, new from Hasbro. Dolls, outfits, and accessories also sold separately.
I remember the ice cream man, because we got in so much trouble because our ice cream man had the card packs that had that horrible stick of gum in it that was like a piece of wood. And but my mom would give us money to go get ice cream and bring her back ice cream, and we get her ice cream, but then we get like 4 packs, and we would get, and she'd scream at us constantly. We got in so much trouble every time because she didn't trust us, because we were so obsessed, because there was 1 or 2 cards or stickers. Remember the stickers that were the first? And there was like 1 or 2 stickers that we didn't have. And a friend of mine, there was a Farrah sticker I remember that I didn't have, and we would lay them all out, and we were like, our ice cream man was basically our Charlie's Angels card drug dealer.
But I love that your mother was upset with you because you guys didn't want to eat the ice cream. You know, that you went for a pack of cards other than the, you know, huge ice cream rocket ship thing or whatever, and she was mad at you for that. That's kind of funny.
Is that funny? Now, this is a show about the good in the world. This is about, you know, finding the light in a dark time, or either finding it or shining it. So in all honesty, what is the good in being a fan of something?
There's a lot of good things about being a fan of something, and it's funny that that's the essence of this, because I've been doing a show called Collector's Haven, which is my new show I've been doing online, and I've been talking to a lot of collectors, and I have such joy of talking to collectors, because collectors have such joy about collecting. And you know, people always give collectors a weird kind of like, you're a weirdo, you collect something. But everybody in this world collects something, regardless if they want to say so or not. You know, down to the woman who collects salt and pepper shakers, or the woman who collects, or the man collects, you know, coins or stamps, or, you know, so everybody collects something. I just collect a bunch of pink stuff, you know, with beautiful women on it. You know, and that's the joy of it, is a community of meeting other collectors who have the same thing that they love and enjoy and talk about. I always find that you know, the basis of Charlie's Angels, of course, is the TV series, and watching the show brings joy to me, of course, and everybody else I know who loves it. And it's always a fascinating thing when I talk to people about my collection, or they know that I find out that I have a Charlie's Angels collection. They always go, "Oh my God, I had," you know, either there was the lunchbox or the trading cards, or, you know, anything, you know, or the game. Everybody has a touchstone to it, or everybody has their favorite angel. And that's the other thing with Charlie's Angels, you know, everyone has their favorite angel. So it's the collecting is just one part of it, which is I find a really wonderful thing. And it's really allowed me to, you know, meet some great people in this world who've been my best friends for years and eons, and some of those helped me create my newsletter and my website, and you know, made me, I guess, the Charlie's Angels guy that I am, the angelologist. But you know, it's that's the joy of me actually talking to other collectors. And I really, you know, I've been on the other end of a camera, and people, you know, not being so nice, or being not understanding, or not, you know, just being, you know, you know, you're crazy, but we'll look at your collection. To understanding and talking to collectors, and loving and understanding the love of, you know, it's not about the stuff, it's about the memories, and, you know, the people that you come about with it. And of course, you know, it's great with the actors and actresses and whoever's involved with it. And it keeps the memory alive of something that, a wonderful, childhood, or, lots of people do it because of, that's with their escapism. So it collecting has a lot of good things to do it. Bad things about it is it takes a lot of money sometimes. So, um,
Sure.
and sometimes in these wacky days with eBay, you can't get everything you want, and you have to understand and breathe and go move through it. Call your therapist that you'll get that walkie-talkie next time. You know, maybe you can save more than $200 for it and get it next time, and maybe not, but it's okay because there's a light at the end of the pink tunnel that it will finally get to you. I believe it. I believe it.
Well, listen, when I asked you to come on here and talk with me, I was very clear that this was not going to be some expose. This is not going to make fun of you. This is not a negative thing. This is a positive thing, because I was a huge Bionic Man, $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman fan, like irrationally, even into my adulthood. And I had the opportunity, by clear accident, that I literally bumped into Lindsay Wagner in Palm Springs, and I actually got to sit and talk with her. And it was like the most magical thing, because what she said to me, which I think you will probably relate to, and it'll help us get to this next section I want to talk to you about, which is, she said to me, and she's very quiet, soft-spoken woman, and she said, she loved looking at my face while I was talking because she's seen this so many times. She said, I can see your 6-year-old face. She said, when you start talking to me about the Bionic Woman, and I said, and do you like that, or do you want that? Did you like that time? And she said, why wouldn't I like that? And she cracked me up because she goes, my friend Linda Carter. And I'm like, well, I don't know her, but do go on. I'm enjoying the story. And she said, well, we both have agreed we love when grown people come to us and smile and start talking to us because we see their childhood face again. And so that's pretty cool, I think. And so on that note, you grew up, you came to LA, and at some point you started meeting the Angels in real life.
In real life, yes, and that is a beautiful story. Yes, and I know Linda very well, and she adores her fans. And what I love about Linda Carter is that she has embraced Wonder Woman into her soul, which was already there, but she is a Wonder Woman with everything she does, and she, which is amazing that she it will always be my Wonder Woman, but she is Wonder Woman. But yes, when I arrived to Los Angeles, I started collecting. That's when I started the second wave of collecting toys, and that's when I met people, met fans, became friends with them, and that's when I decided, well, there should be a newsletter. People should know what's going on, what's happening, and so I did it. I just created this thing that I've been doing for 25 years, and then I started meeting the actresses. The first one, of course, was Cheryl Ladd, which was extremely anxiety ridden. It was a book signing, and I went to the Barnes and Noble, and I was in the back. I was pacing. I saw them over there in the corner, and no one was there. And I was like, "Is there a martini? Can I get a drink? Is there a drink?" And so I actually went up, and I finally got the nerve. I'm like, come on, they have another half an hour here, or whatever. It was an hour or whatever they had left. And I was like, just go. And so I did. And I had a packet, and I talked to her, and she had to sign a book. And then literally we sat there, and Cheryl and I and Brian Russell, her husband, we talked for like a half an hour, and we just hung out, and we exchanged numbers. And then that has become a 25-year friendship with Cheryl. I mean, I've when she was in San Ys, I always say it wrong, but I would stay at their house up in the hills, and and we just I'd call my bed. That's my bedroom over there in the house, and it's it. But and then I met Tanya Roberts was the second one I met, and I've been friends with her for 25 years too now, and and then of course, and I met who else? I met Shelley last. Then I met Farrah for a brief second at a signing, and then I was writing my book, and a friend of mine who produced Chasing Farrah basically the Chasing Fair was supposed to be based on my book of Angelic Heaven. And instead, when they started filming, it went crazy and the focus of the show went someplace else. But I was on the show many times, but that's where I met Farrah. And Farrah came over to my apartment and to look at the Charlie's Angel stuff and the pro arts, her poster and all that stuff. She wanted to find some archival stuff. She wanted to look at all the stuff that they made, basically. And because she was trying to get the rights back to the poster. And Craig Nevius came to the house with her. And so he was sitting just watching us, because we were like two little girls, just like, oh my God, look at this, and taking pictures of that. And she was like taking Polaroids and we were just having a great time. And she was like, do you remember this outfit? I'm like, oh yeah, that's on this magazine. And, and Craig had said that I should maybe be her assistant. He just suggested that to Farrah. And then they came back to me and I said, I don't want to be Farrah's assistant. She'll yell at me. Who wants your idol to yell at you? But anyway, so that's when I met her, and then I became her assistant for 2 years. And through her, I met Jacqueline and Kate. And then the final one was Shelley. I went there for filming for E at her house, which was fun too. But yeah, I've met, I sometimes say I collect all the angels now too. I've collected all the angels in my life. But I always say that I'm a very blessed person. I'm a very blessed man because I am it with these beautiful, iconic women who people love and adore. And, it's one day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they could all be calling me, texting me, or, it's a crazy world I live in sometimes. And I'm very blessed. And it's nice to meet your idols and knowing that they're as beautiful and wonderful and down to earth. And it's just amazing. I think I've lost the train of thought of this question, but
no, you were right on point. Let me ask you a couple questions because I think people would like to know. So when Farrah is looking at her collection in your memory, what is her response to it, and what does she think of one person having all this stuff of her?
Well, she really looked at the stuff and she couldn't believe a lot of the stuff that was made. Pro Arts had created and produced a lot of things that she in her mind was not approved. I don't know if her people approved it. Who knows what happened?
Sure.
But so that was that. And she, I think with Farrah, it was a different thing because, she kept a lot of her own collectible stuff. She had a whole archival of her stuff that she had. And I think she really got the collecting thing. She really got the essence of items that, she had used in movies and that kind of stuff as costumes due to the huge poster she did in the 1976, the red bathing suit. She got it. People was collecting it. People put it on the walls. And so she really got that. I mean, I've had 4 angels here to see the collection in my apartment. They've come over and looked at it, and it's really fun watching them. Cheryl was like, you have a lot of shit. Oh, there was one time her PR person asked me to bring some stuff to the talk, and they couldn't get the rights to release it, but I brought like 4 bins full of stuff of Charlie's Angels collectibles. God. I go, okay, girl, you can start signing them. And she's like, I'm not signing all that stuff for you. I'm like,
well, hold on. She's here right now, so we're going to let her.
Good. Hi, Cheryl.
I'm kidding. That's amazing, though. I think that's really cool. And it's really nice when there's positive and negative experiences with anyone in life, right?
Oh, I have many.
And we have it.
Yes.
And we come at things because we come at things sometimes when we're a fan of some things. We come at things when we're an artist, we're come at things when we're a professional and things we're passionate about. I had the opportunity to work with Joan Van Ark from Knots Landing.
I love Joan.
Joan she's everything you want her to be. If you've never met her, if she's listening right now, because she does listen to this, I adore the woman. She talks about herself in the third person. That's my favorite thing, which she will own up to. You'll ask her a question like, "Hey, Joan, do you want to go grab some dinner?" And she'll go, "Well, let me check with Joan Van Ark's schedule." And I'll be like, "It's you. Like, stop. Just say I or me." Anyway, but
yes.
She is so fantastic, and it was just so great to. Much like my experience with Lindsay Wagner, it's so wonderful when you get that experience, and that, you question at times of like, I at least I do. Am I coming on too strong right now? You meant so much to me as a child, especially Lindsay Wagner. I was so reserved. My husband was like, "Oh my God, you weren't even yourself." I said, because I was holding back, not bursting into tears, and I did tell her this. I did say it and I didn't cry, which is I'm the youngest of three kids, and I'm a bit younger than my older siblings. On Sunday night and on Wednesday night, my father would come and watch The $6 Million Man and The Bionic Woman with me, and I would sit with him. And as cheesy or silly or as good or as bad as it was, he would sit through the whole episode with me. And he preferred The $6 Million Man because he was more of a macho man, right? But he watched these, and I told Lindsay Wagner that. I said, "You are embedded in my psyche as a wonderful thing, and my father's not with me anymore, that I got to have with my father." And she was like, she's like, "Thank you." I said, "No, thank you. Like, what are you thanking me for?" She goes, "No, thank you for sharing that with me." So in that same realm of thinking and in the way we go at things in the world that we are in today, there's a positivity here, right? I mean, there's something good about everything you're talking about.
And well, I think that's the reason why there's so many retro channels now that air all these 1977 70s TV shows, because they're so innocent and nice and sweet, exciting, but yet they all have a heart. And you cannot, sometimes I have MeTV, I'll just flip through channels and I'm like, oh, One Day at a Time's on, or whatever, some WKRP in Cincinnati, or Charlie's Angels, or Bionic Woman, or Wonder Woman. I mean, it's just, you get drawn back into that simpler, wonderful time of television where there was only 3 channels. We all had the same experience, most of us, watching television. I mean, nowadays people are like, "Oh, have you watched this?" And you have to go, "What channel that's on? Is that on Netflix? Is that on Hulu?" At that time, you're like, "Hey, did you watch Fantasy Island?" And everybody watched Fantasy Island because we all did that on Friday night, or was that Saturday? Can't really. Not really sure which day it was, but anyway, because we all had that same experience because we only had 3 channels. I mean, so it's something that I feel privileged to, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I just turn on Charlie's Angels, and I want to hear the commercials. It's a weird thing,
right?
Like, I have them digitally, and I have them, on DVD and Blu-ray and VHS from Japan and everywhere in the world. But sometimes I just want to hear the commercial breaks. It's just weird. And I just like, that's a weird thing. Maybe it's just me.
It's comfort. It's comfort food, but especially in times like now.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I have a friend who I'm working with books with and designing his books, and he's been watching like Matlock and all these shows. He goes, I can't get enough of them. They're such a great time in everyone's life. And it was a lot simpler. It's a simpler time than especially today. So
we end these shows with 3 questions. I'm going to fire them at you. Don't panic. They're pretty easy.
Oh God. Okay.
You can answer them regarding in line with what we've been speaking about, or you can just say whatever the hell you want to say. So question number 1, who inspires you?
Cheryl Ladd. Cheryl Ladd inspires me. She's been a touchstone. Weirdly, my favorite angel has, if there's something that's going on, especially if I'm dealing with something as far as, especially celebrities and stuff, I'll call her, and she always has the best answers. She does.
You can answer this any way you want. Tell me something good.
Breathing is really good. Deep breathing is really, really good. Other good stuff, I'm getting Omaha steaks today for my parents, so that's a really good thing. Anyway, and I just got in the Dolly Parton Holly Dolly Christmas album CD. Yes, that's really great. That's really good. Yeah, get it if you don't have it.
Last question is the easiest question to answer. Where can people find you? What are you doing? Plug away.
All right. For me, on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Mike Pingle. Also, you can check out Collectors Haven TV on Facebook and online. If you just want to go to mikepingle.com, you can get all the links there. Go all and see all the books I've done, what interviews I've done, what stuff I've tried to do that's burned and crashed, but everything's a learning curve. So everything's good. Everything's good.
Thank you, Mike, for sharing your good with us. Someday soon I need to come over and check out that collection of yours myself, and you can have your security people pat me down when I go to make sure I don't leave with anything. Next time on World Gone Good.
Our decisions are like a muscle, like you're starting to exercise. So the more that you start to get rid of things, it will get easier.
We're going from angels to fairies when, for the first time ever, I'm so excited, World Gone Good goes international with my first guest ever from across the pond in lovely Britain, Kezia Hosking. She's the green domestic fairy, and her magic power is helping people find their good through cleaning their path, clearing it too, and organizing toward the future. I hope you'll join me for a good conversation that may just help you tidy your own self up. Until then, be good.